Hey guys, Scott and Nate from PlayYourCourt.com. Today we're going to show you a simple exercise that will add a lot more power to your serve. Alright guys, so today, super quick, we're going to show you an exercise that is going to help you add way more power to your serve. This video is for players with a PlayYourCourt rating of 60 to 80. If you're not in our community, click the link below and check it out. We really do give you, Nate and I, everything that you need to improve your tennis game for about the cost of a can of tennis balls. So if you like our videos, you're going to love our membership. So definitely check that out. If you're not already in the PlayYourCourt community, a PlayYourCourt 60 to 80 is the equivalent of about a USTA 3.5 to a 4.5. And guys, what we're talking about here today in terms of adding serve power is whether or not you have a fluid service motion. And Nate, I think you would agree with me, most of the students we've coached, fluidity really is what's missing from them taking their power to the next level. I know, I've coached some higher level players that maybe have a small hitch, but most rec players I've ever run into, really 4-5 and below, the power they're missing is because their stroke's just not fluid. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, and you end up compromising, right? We leave them with what they're capable of because of this hitch. So maybe it's starting just with the racket already up in that trophy position. And really, guys, what we're talking about is the kinetic chain is one of the most complex motions in all of sports, where pitching may have 6 moving parts. The kinetic chain on the serve has 8. And if you're missing one of these, you're going to lack power. But there's just a couple really important parts of it that we just can't afford to move or to lose, whether they be disjointed or we just lose them overall. And what we're finding, what we're talking about today is this trophy position, about how some of us are working through the trophy stance and holding, and then we're running into problems of getting the momentum picked back up, or we're just creating a hitch where we go from the trophy stance and then maybe something else enters where we see, this is where we get waiter, strayer, maybe the racket turns because there's this break in momentum. And
that for me is what I see with all of my rec players, right? I see they come up in a trophy stance, they stop here, and then all the momentum they've gained here into their stroke just vanishes, right? And it's almost like they would have been okay just starting right here. They're not going to get any more power.
Yeah, and especially if that racket ends up behind the head. I mean, so on a high level, stopping at the trophy stance isn't necessarily wrong. In fact, there's some really, really good serves that run through kind of that paradigm of where they're stopping and loading from this point and then getting through it.
And if you're at that level of play and you're crushing your serve by doing that, by all means turn this video off. But for the rest of you, this is where you're going to get more power out of your motion.
I will say though, I've got a 5.0 student that I work with who picked up 10, 20 miles per hour by actually working through more of like this shot put idea of like just keeping it continuous through. All right, so let's jump into it. Let me show you exactly what we're talking about with the 2 motions. All right, and we'll take a look at that now, and then we're gonna finish. We'll show you a little exercise.
The solution, the figure 8.
Yeah, a little something that'll help you feel this. You don't even have to be on the tennis court to do it. Okay, so we're talking about fluidity on the serve, and this is what we're talking about with this continuous motion of the serve. And what I want you to imagine is a bullwhip. All right, so the way that a bullwhip really builds up just a ton of energy and then is released to a point, this is what we're talking about on the serve. And one of the things to point out, what makes the serve as powerful as it is, the main takeaway here is the mobile joint of the wrist. This snapping is the same way that a bullwhip will snap. Okay, so there's a lot of important factors. In another video, we talked about the importance of shoulder over shoulder. But this is all different phases in order to get the arm, all of this to act as a conduit to this power moving up to this mobile joint of the wrist. All right, so what we're going to talk about now is what the trophy stance actually does in disrupting this buildup of energy. So what we see a lot of times are players running through their motion and holding and interrupting the power source and then going into their serve. And there's some big serves that can be achieved from stopping at the trophy stance, but what we're starting to see is like you're just briefly slowing down through the trophy stance and continuing. What we're going to talk about today is just keeping it moving throughout the entire time. And what you're going to find is the bullwhip, once we've moved in through this position, as soon as I'm powering through the legs, the racket is pulled through this motion, all right? So that's where we kind of get that cartwheel effect that we've talked about. All right, so we're gonna demo the trophy stance, the serve off of it. There'll be decent power. I used to serve this in this manner, and then I started playing with working through a little bit more continuous and had a greater deal of success by achieving more power, a little bit more velocity by keeping it moving. So guys, what we're gonna see here is I pulse through this trophy stance. All the energy that I build is suddenly disrupted as I'm trying to get through, all right? And it's causing a little bit of a hitch. It's a little bit of a timing issue for me specifically. Doesn't mean other people don't have success for it. What I found though is with this pause, you know, there it's like better timing, it works out, but there's still this moment that I'm having with whether it's platform, the other ones I went pinpoint, it's just giving me time to find something that causes a hindrance in the motion. All right, so now we're gonna examine what happens if we just keep it moving, right? And we work through the entire motion without stopping in the trophy stance. All right, guys, so here I'm gonna be focused on keeping the racket moving through the entire stage of the serve and allowing it to stay more fluid throughout the contact.
All right, guys, so as you can see there, by getting rid of the hitch and Nate's swing, he adds a considerable amount of power by making his motion more fluid. If watching this isn't enough for you, I want to give you an exercise so you can kind of bring this home and make sure you're getting through this fluid motion. I know a lot of players think their motion's fluid, and they look at it on video analysis and realize, oh man, I've got a huge hitch. So the exercise we're going to use to fix this is called the figure eight, right?
That is, and guys, we're not saying that the trophy stance is wrong. It's absolutely fine. We're just having you examine, is your trophy stance where the hitch is being entered? And if not, if it is where it's being entered, then let's go ahead and work through continuous movement, keeping the serve fluid. And if you are having no problems with your trophy stance,
turn this video off.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
But I do think that you can still pick up a little bit of power by trying this. All right, so show us the figure eight drill here.
All right, guys, so I'm going to show you two versions of the figure eight. The first version with no toss, this one's particularly great because you can practice it really wherever. You can do this in the living room of your house. We're really just looking for a fluid motion at full extension, right, Nate?
Yeah, and guys, the figure eight, what this does is he never breaks the momentum that he's built. The little loop back at the front to make the figure eight allows it to immediately get back on track and work through, so that big kinetic chain of the bullwhip is being continued. As he cracks the whip, he's just bringing it through to keep it moving.
All right, guys, so when you do head out to the court and start working on this figure eight drill, we obviously want you to introduce the toss, and let's see if you can even hit one or two, maybe even three serves in a row without slowing that fluid motion down. If you practice this, I think you'll find you'll unhitch your serve and find that fluid motion that will generate more power for you. Guys, hopefully this instruction helps. If you like this video or any of the videos that you've seen Nate and I film, do us a favor, click the link below, check out our community. We want to see you improve your tennis game. We've put together a pretty cool membership that'll give you kind of everything you need, even introduce you to new practice partners in your area at your skill level. So click the link below, check it out. We'd love to have you inside the community. We'll see you guys soon.